Say for life in city sport. Every day na building with a shameful decor. I for don't turn visitor. Overstay my welcome. I'm chop full in song. Chop full in song. Even my mama joy there. My grandma joy. Papa joy. My shima comes first. Round and round. Make a two person.
Midday vibes, great programming, and good company. This is Channel Africa.
C'est pas y masser, c'est pas y causer, so three use on me. Ça fait ouais des côtés qui m'ont gagné, qui m'ont mon vivre. Les autres connaissent, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Ça fait ouais des qui m'ont fait, qui m'ont mon arrive là. Les autres connaissent, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil, oh l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Oh, saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Y'en a qui t'y pourrit, si des victimes en Goliath. Avec sa stone, ben mon moins worry, mon papa give up. Jusqu'à l'air m'arrive home, non mon papa capable de saute Zalou n'a pas guérison ni finition Zalou y'a pas fait ou coulou comme arrête Zalou y'a fait ou mettre la corde tous les coups. Hey, relax ou les commandes, espère ou tout man. Après moi pendant ou tout man, six c'est la même dans allant tout man. Espère ou tout man, six c'est dans allant tout man. Demain y'a l'autre sous, c'est pas n'est plus rampé, c'est pas y masser, c'est pas y causer, so three use on me. Ça fait ouais des côtés qui m'ont gagné, qui m'ont mon vivre. Les autres connaissent, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Ça fait ouais des qui m'ont fait, qui m'ont mon arrive là. Les autres connaissent, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil, oh l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Oh, saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Hey, bataille y'a mon lait de wapé moi. Devant mon bon Dieu y'a faiblesse moi. Mon compte mon blessing, mon papa vient faire zizani. Lola dame qui n'a pas respect, mon levé mon piale. Non mon papa est resté, non mon papa est resté. Oh, saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil, oh l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil bat fort. Oh, saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil, saute l'orgueil bat fort.
The voice of the continent, now online, with all your sports fixtures, lifestyle, and more.
On pensait que j'allais pas valider. Moi personne ne croyait mais j'ai montré que malgré tout le moral est resté. J'ai rendu maman fière, j'ai rendu papa fier. Combien de fois j'ai voulu laisser, mais malgré tout le moral est resté. Mais aujourd'hui j'ai validé. On a lutté malgré les céphalées. J'enchaînais les soirées à UNB, mais à la fin les jaloux sont choqués. Mais aujourd'hui j'ai validé. On a lutté malgré les céphalées. J'enchaînais les soirées à UNB, mais à la fin les jaloux sont choqués.
Basilio, yayo, Basilio, yayo, Basilio, yayo. m'amuser et j'ai négligé. Le stress en classe, la pression en case. Prépa par-ci, des capis par-là. Mais malgré les obstacles, on a tous validé. Merci Seigneur encore pour cette réussite. Au nom du Père, du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Bachelier, oh ya yo.
Livre censé en méditer ma défaite. L'histoire là m'ont dit que tu vas tout refaire. Vos paroles sans effet, vos actes sans effet. Maman a pleuré, elle m'a dit que ça va aller. Elle m'a dit que la défaite, il est temps de refaire. De pas être en retrait, se lever, ne pas laisser tomber. Persévère dans la vie et Dieu est au contrôle pour la réussite.
Bachelier, oh ya yo. 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 Oh ya ya, on a eu. Aïe aïe aïe, on a eu. On a gâté, oh souffert, on a eu. Ce n'est pas fini, on a validé. Aïe aïe aïe, on a eu. Aïe aïe aïe, on a eu. On a souffert, oh gâté, on a eu. Ce n'est pas fini, on a validé. Quand c'est dur, c'est la boîte qui chauffe. Faut avoir le courage pour assumer. C'est le Mamba noir représenté, le Rossi des Rossi. Grand Selmar, c'est pour toi là-bas. Dédicace spéciale au lycée technique Omar Bongo Ondimba, promotion 2021-2022. Accompagné de Rodi Buzz et Boloko Clément. Dédicace spéciale au président de la transition, le général Brice Clotaire Olivier Nguema. À madame le ministre de l'Éducation nationale, Camélia Toutou. Colonel Manfoubi, Ange Jenny, Badinga Roland, Yorinei, à tous les bacheliers de cette année, Jean-Hilaire Obam, Issé l'État, Issé Léamba, Messieurs, Immaculé, Blaise Pascal, Awassi, Bélé, Montalier, Epi, Baouma, Calazans, Mandela, LDD, Aoungou, Sainte-Marie, Alena Kiri, à tous les lycées techniques, à tous les lycées du G1 au G9, Lieutenant Nganga Alistair, Chendinga, Emery Gambia, Anaja Ivan, Kevin Belanda, à mes deux grandes sœurs, Yanansi, Yawilia, Trésor Tuntum. C'était le Mamba noir représenté. Le Rossi des Rossi.
We're 19 minutes into 1 p.m. in Central African Time. A pleasure to have you join us for the Monday edition of The Upside, exclusive to Channel Africa. We come through in conversation in this very first hour, and we're looking at social media is in a frenzy today, with parents asking a hard question: should children be allowed to go for sleepovers? That's the big debate that's coming through. We're going to be speaking to Ayanda Tetyana, who is a parenting expert, about this issue. Stay with us.
Es-tu préoccupé par quelque chose? Es-tu passionné par les questions qui comptent? As-tu une voix qui mérite d'être entendue? Eh bien, nous avons la plateforme parfaite pour toi. Téléphone-nous ou fais-nous un WhatsApp au +27 66 408 87 42 et nous te rappellerons. Sois dans la conversation.
Salut Channel Africa, ici Beno le diamant rouge aka Binal Export depuis le Cameroun, le pays des lions. Voilà.
Sois dans la conversation. Il ne s'agit pas seulement de parler, mais c'est ta chance d'exprimer ton point de vue, de partager tes opinions et de t'engager avec une communauté qui valorise ton avis. Suivez-nous sur les réseaux sociaux, visitez notre site www.channelafrica.co.za et préparez-vous à partager vos points de vue sur Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Nkhanza zokhudza amuna ndi azimayi kapena kuti gender based violence GBV zikuononga mioyo komanso kuphwasula midzi. Zikuchitika m'manyumba, m'masukulu, malo ogwirira ntchito ndipo kwambiri mwakachetechete, koma sizikuyenera kupitirira. Mukazimva yankhulani, ngati mwakhuzidwa funani chithandizo. chifukwa kusachita chilichonse sikuthandiza. Mverani kuma wireless onse 14 a SABC kuchokera lachitatu pa 23 mwezi uno wa Julai kuti mumve zokambirana, malangizo, masewero, zionesero za maphunziro ndi mafunso okhuza nkhanza za amuna ndi azimayi ndi akatswiri, anthu opulumuka ku nkhanzazi, kukhazikitsa lamulo komanso dziko lonse lokhuzidwa ndi nkhanzazi. Zonsezi pa wireless yomwe mumayikonda ya SABC. Imbirani pa nambala 0800 428 428 kuti munene za nkhanzazi kapena kupeza chithandizo. Nkhanza zokhuza amuna ndi azimayi zimatha ndi inu. Uthenga ukufikani kuchokera ku SABC.
Africa at Play with Neto and ETO Chemane.
Lelintle, talk to us about your relationship with your father, Coach Pitso. What is this one thing that he said to you that is still stuck at the top of your head?
Coach Pitso and our mom, Moira Kakale, have always told us that whatever we do in life, we must do it to the best of our abilities and represent our family well. But the big thing is do what you love and do it with all the passion that you can, that you have. And I think we see it in both their work. I mean, my mom has done a really good job with placing Coach Pitso in different clubs around the world, and she's negotiated contracts, and she's shown that as a woman you can also do work that is seen, and you can also get respect from men in a male-dominated space. And I think my dad has also shown that you must never underestimate the Black African man.
Lelintle Mosimane, a South African communications and digital media professional. Lelintle is also a daughter to a great mentor when it comes to the game of football, Coach Jingles Mosimane.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. The Upside. On The Upside, your voice matters.
Don't mind on your seat, come give me that. Jump up on my body like animal. Dance make you feel like carnival. I go lock you down like criminal. One touch feeling like 1 million. People just say what you like a cinema. Wine bandit thing like carnival. Make sure you do nobody else like you. Baby, don't whine on your seat, come give me that. Jump up on my body like animal. Dance make you feel like carnival. I go lock you down like criminal. One touch feeling like 1 million. People just say what you like a cinema. Wine bandit thing like carnival. Make sure you do nobody else like me. Trusted, approved and trusted. Tested, approved and trusted. Oh, please believe. Tested, approved and trusted. Tested, approved and trusted. In the middle of all of these beautiful girls in the world where they dance on the floor. I stayed on mine and not to bend them. Me, I just want some for the center. Baby, gyrate, your waistline. Roll it down, no slow down. Just bring them to me now. Submit down, no teasing, yeah. Baby, don't whine on your seat, come give me that. Jump up on my body like animal. Dance make you feel like carnival. I go lock you down like criminal. One touch feeling like 1 million. People just say what you like a cinema. Wine bandit thing like carnival. Make sure you do nobody else like me. One jazzy, the way you do fantastic. Have to put on glasses. Make you no blind me with this your body. Wanna see you whining for the wall. Make me want to turn into the wall. Make me feel like we know they for real life. Everything nice where you are. Baby, don't whine on your seat, come give me that. Jump up on my body like animal.
25 minutes into 1 p.m. in Central African Time. Thank you very much for joining us. Social media is in a frenzy today, with parents asking a hard question: should children be allowed to go for sleepovers? The debate comes after the disappearance of 17-year-old Thomas Junius Tole, who went missing during a trip on the Vaal River near Stonehaven. As South African police services continue to search, many parents are sharing fears about the safety and supervision of children that are away from home because they want to, visit their friends, etc. So let's talk about this. Let's use Thomas's disappearance as an example at this time. Such a devastating case. But how common is it? How common is it for children to disappear, or for something terrible of this nature to happen when children are on sleepovers? Joining me on the line is Ayanda Tekyana, who is a parenting expert. Ayanda, welcome to Channel Africa. Wonderful to talk to you in the new year.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a very sad topic, but we have to kind of consider all the advantages that happen as well in the context of our children being exposed to other, hopefully safer environments, other families, all the learning that really happens in terms of just their social, the peer influence. But obviously it's important to do it within a guided and very strict, you could call it like protocols, if you could use that word, just to ensure that in terms of safety, we bear that in mind. But the reality is children also do learn a lot when they get exposure to other families, they experience just how other families live their lives.
Right. That's very important what you're mentioning, Ayanda, just the protocol that comes with it. Perhaps give us some tips, some rules of engagement, if we could call it that, between, the families of the children and the children themselves. What needs to happen on a general scale when we want to sort of start introducing this level of socialization?
So I think there are quite a few things that we have to bear in mind. I'd say that it's important that we communicate, for instance, with the other parents. So, I would have been very keen for a parent, for instance, who, let's say, for instance, is having their child come over for a sleepover or a weekend at my house, to communicate things like, my child can't swim, so that, we have a kind of like a preparation, whether it's like those little eggs, these jackets that they wear, or some extra support for them if we're going to be spending time in the pool. And back to forth between the parents, whatever you are planning for the weekend, for that night, just being able to communicate it with them, so that should there be allergies, should there be pickups or drop-offs, one thing that's really important that I see a lot in terms of just my kids going over to visit other homes, things like your screen time, the bedtime, different type of diets that we may have in our home. You want to be able to have communication about that. And also just being aware that once you're out of my home as my child, in the household that you're going to be in, there's going to be a lot of different things that don't work exactly the way our home usually does things.
That's true.
Having that open mind, conversation, encouraging our children to have this open mind, the curiosity, that explorer mindset to say, let me just have this difficult, let's say, for instance, I don't necessarily eat a certain type of food. Culturally, you may get to another family and they eat something different. It'd be fun if our children have that mindset to say, I'm going to try this out. Maybe I might just like it. And then go back home and be excited to tell mom, hey, let's try this out. I really enjoyed it. So what I think is important is that as parents, we bear in mind the context of sleepovers. There's the age appropriateness, and then there's those family and cultural considerations. But as we have more of these conversations, as we expose our children to different environments, we're actually empowering them so that when it comes to their social skills, when it comes to the understanding of real life, that they are a little bit more equipped than if we keep our children in our homes because we're like super scared because one incident happened there and there and there. We also create this anxiety for our children where they just don't trust and they think the whole world is falling apart. Everyone's untrustable,
Okay. It's just such a pity we don't have a lot of time. We've got to take sports. Do you have an additional 10 minutes to grant me, Ayanda? I'd like to hang up the call and then call you back so we can continue.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're going to continue with Ayanda. This is a very important conversation, especially when it comes to just some of the risky behaviors. Sometimes you're not aware. And this is not a type of topic where you can just read an article and keep it moving, right? You've got to go through the experience, learn from other people's experiences. It's an experiential thing for both parent and child. So we're going to continue with our parenting expert, Ayanda Getyana, after the sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
It's a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Mosibu Di Makura with the latest sports news at the Sawa. So FIFA President Gianni Infantino has condemned some Senegal players for the unacceptable scenes which overshadowed their victory in Sunday's Africa Cup of Nations final when they walked off the pitch in protest at a penalty awarded to Morocco. So African football showpiece event was marred by most of the Senegalese players walking off the pitch when at deep into injury time of normal play with the match all square at 0-0, Morocco were awarded a spot kick following a VAR check for a challenge on Brahim Diaz. Now Senegal's former Liverpool star Sadio Mane remained on the pitch and urged his teammates to come back onto the pitch for the penalty. They were already furious at having a goal disallowed at the other end for a soft-looking foul minutes earlier, just before that a penalty was awarded. Meanwhile, trouble broke out in the stands as some Senegalese fans tried to enter the field of play and became involved in fighting with security personnel. The game was then held up for about 20 minutes before Diaz could take the penalty, and his weak Benaga kick was then saved by Senegal goalkeeper Edouard Mendy. Infantino, while congratulating Morocco on what he called a fantastic tournament, both as runner-ups as well as exceptional hosts, a boost ahead of them co-hosting the men's 2030 World Cup, said teams have to abide by the match officials' decisions. Infantino will now be hoping there is no such scenes in this year's World Cup that is co-hosted by the USA, Canada and Mexico, and said images such as those that the world saw on Sunday sent a very strong message to supporters around the world. Meanwhile, the Confederation of African Football earlier this afternoon released a statement condemning what they called the unacceptable behavior of some of the players as well as the officials during last night's Africa Cup of Nations final between the host nation Morocco and the eventual winners Senegal at the Prince Mullah Abdallah Stadium last night. CAF in that statement saying they strongly condemn any inappropriate behavior which occurs during matches, especially those targeting the referee, team or match organisers. They also further concluded in the statement saying they will be reviewing all the footage and will refer the matter to competent bodies for appropriate action to be taken against those found guilty. On to summer tennis news now. Coco Gauff, the third seed at this year's Australian Open, overcame some early serving wobbles to begin her Australian Open title bid with a straight sets victory earlier today. The 21-year-old is past Russian board Kamila Rakhimova of Uzbekistan 6-2, 6-3 on a hot and a sunny Rod Laver Arena. She looks back on that win.
Yeah, I thought I did well. I thought I didn't rush to point. She plays really low, so just trying my best to get the ball up. And yeah, I think in the last game I had a couple forehands and I accelerated. And yeah, I think I would have rather held serve in that one game. But yeah, I think it's the beauty of being a good returner, that you have a good high chance of breaking in almost every game.
Meanwhile, in the men's game, three-time Australian Open runner-up Daniil Medvedev of Russia was forced to work very hard in grinding past Dutchman Jasper de Jong. The Russian stumbled home 7-5, 6-2 and 7-6 on a hot Margaret Court arena to move into the second round of the first Grand Slam tournament of the year. Meanwhile, former Australian Open finalist Marin Cilic of the Czech Republic turned back the clock with a ruthless display to beat Germany's Daniel Atmar 6-love, 6-love and 7-6, while the 2014 Australian Open champion Stan Wawrinka of Switzerland beat Serbian Laslo Djere 5-7, 6-3, 6-4 and 7-6 to move into the second round of the Grand Slam tournament. Of course, it was late last year that Stan Wawrinka announced that he will be retiring from tennis in 2026. And that concludes your Sports News this hour. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, do send us an email. That's to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Call us as well on the newsroom line. That is +27 11714 4459. I'm back with more sports news in the next hour. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mosibu Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628. Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
1:36 on the digital clock. Let's check in with the latest in business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Mmatsheko. Good afternoon. The 56th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum is currently underway in Davos, Switzerland. Under the theme, A Spirit of Dialogue, leaders from government, business, civil society, science and culture will gather to tackle some of the world's most pressing challenges, from climate change and energy security to technological innovation and economic inequality. Political economist Dr. Dale McKinley talks about the importance of the gathering.
Well, it matters because it's gathering the world's leaders, and particularly the world's biggest economies. And on top of that, I think probably about majority of the top corporations in the world. So basically the people who run the world economy, people who control a lot of the trade, and who we have relationships with, both in Europe and the United States in particular, but also Asia, are going to be there. So I think that's what makes it important.
Kenya has begun selling a 65% stake in its state oil pipeline firm as it looked to raise $825 million in East Africa's biggest ever initial public offering. The sale is part of a drive by President William Ruto's government to divest from state companies to raise funds for new infrastructure and sovereign wealth funds. It is also reducing its stake in telecoms operator Safaricom. The government priced the IPO in Kenya Pipeline Company at 9 shillings per share. The offer documents have revealed that the sale will run until the 19th of February and the shares will be listed for trading on the Nairobi Bourse on the 9th of March. The International Monetary Fund again edged its 2026 global growth forecast higher as businesses and economies adapt to U.S. tariffs that have eased in recent months and a continued AI investment boom that has fueled asset wealth and expectations of productivity gains. The IMF, in its World Economic Outlook, forecast global GDP growth at 3.3% in 2026, up 0.2 percentage point from its last estimate in October. The IMF says that's even with 3.3% growth in 2025, which will also beat the October estimate by 0.1 percentage point. The Global Crisis Lender forecast 2027 growth at 3.2%, unchanged from the previous forecast. It has revised global growth rates higher since last July in response to trade deals that have reduced President Donald Trump's tariff rates that peaked in April 2025. In other news, Libya's central bank has announced a 14.7% devaluation of the dinar. The move sets the exchange rate at 6.37 dinar to the US dollar, the currency's second such adjustment in less than a year, citing the nation's political and economic turmoil. The move follows a 13.3% devaluation in April 2025, which has set the exchange rate at 5.56 dinars to the US dollar. The IMF has warned trade tensions and a reversal in the artificial intelligence boom are among the main risks to the global economic growth. Its comments came in its latest World Economic Outlook, where it described the global economy as steady, with growth expected to remain resilient this year. The IMF's forecast was produced ahead of Donald Trump's threat at the weekend to impose tariffs on 8 European countries opposed to his proposed takeover of Greenland. The fund also says the independence of central banks is paramount for global economic stability and growth. Now let's have a look at financial indicators. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,418 naira, Botswana 13.22. Kenya, the dollar is 128 shilling 43. Zambia 19 kwacha 89. BRICS countries, the dollar is in Brazil is trading at 5.37, Russia 78 rubles 56, India 90 rupee 25, China 6 yuan 97, South Africa 16 rand 42 cents. $1 is 74 pence to the British pound and 85 to the euro. Commodities, gold is at $4,667, platinum at $2,341 per ounce, the price of Brent crude oil at $63.47 a barrel. That's all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Téléchargez l'application Channel Africa sur votre Play Store ou Apple Store afin de pouvoir suivre toutes nos émissions en direct de là où vous vous trouvez. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
The Upside, taking the African perspective to fresh levels.
All right, so here we are still in the first hour of the show. There was no way I could cut that conversation short. It was too important and lots of value that Ayanda is sharing with us. She is a parenting expert and a regular here on Channel Africa. Pleasure for her to join us as we really look at the rules of engagement when we look at sleepovers, okay? Because we are using the case that we're seeing on social media, the viral case of a 17-year-old Thomas Jonas Tole, who went missing during a trip on the Vaal River near Stonehaven. This is as a result of a sleepover, as we understand it. So what are the rules? A lot of parents are now panicking about the safety of these sleepovers and what happens, in their absence, as it were. So Ayanda is still on the line with us as we continue the conversation. Ayanda, we left off where you were basically just giving us a couple of tips on how to engage between the two parent families, as it were, before children sleep over. So what are the critical questions? Should we be asking questions? Because sometimes you may be afraid, like, oh my goodness, I'm going to ask too many questions, or I'm going to have too many, don't eat this one's gluten-free, this one doesn't eat pizza, that one needs a bit of more dairy, and all these extra requirements.
I mean, when you are the hosting parent, you do have to take that responsibility.
Yeah.
That you will be, you're going to be taking someone else's child. You may not necessarily know everything there is to know about things. So having those conversations is so important. And I know in many instances what usually happens is that our children meet at school or in whichever social context they usually meet at. We as parents are not necessarily friends with each other. So in many instances, we may not really know each other in terms of our values, all of that. But because our children are friends, very important that we prioritize them creating a cordial relationship where we then feel safe for both parties to be able to have these conversations, to be able to even say things like, let's say, for instance, my child does not necessarily drink cold drinks at home. To be able to say, you know what, I will allow for this particular weekend for them to explore with that, and just negotiating those between both parents. I think what's also really important is for you, Gengok, I always talk about this, as parents, when we are taking our children out there, okay, first of all, let me put it this way. As we're raising our children, we need to understand in every aspect how important it is that we're preparing them for the adult world. And then a lot needs to be done in our own homes as we are preparing them with different responsibility of the reality of the adult world. But what I really love about being exposed to all these things, as I mentioned, all the social skills, all of that that's learned, is that then from a parenting perspective, I can monitor my child. I can look whether are they mature enough to go and be away from me for a day or two at another family's house. Do they have the kind of, so I need to observe their responsibility, problem solving, decision making. And if my children are not there yet, now I need to make it a little challenge for myself to start empowering them a little bit so that they can be equipped. When we talk about things like when children are together, there's going to be peer pressure. Your child needs to be comfortable enough to say, no, I'm not going to do that. Whether they're scared or they're not comfortable to do such things, you as a parent need to understand your child in terms of just their social and their socializing. Are they comfortable enough when they're in a situation where they're not comfortable to say no and not necessarily care about being peer pressured into doing certain things? Because think about it, when teenagers are together, what do? Very risky behavior.
That's true.
They want to do the craziest things, and in many instances they get hurt. And I also want to talk about now, as the hosting company, the hosting family, the responsibility of supervision. It is so important that when you have other children that you're watching, even your own, obviously, depending on where you are always supervising those children. If I know that I also have to prepare food, I have to do all these things, and I may not be able to supervise these children, that's where your grandparents, your aunts, your own friends then come into play. Then you can bring those people who can then be that additional village who will help monitor the situation and ensure that the children are safe.
Absolutely. It sounds to me, just based on what you're saying, Ayanda, that communication is obviously very important between the two families and the children as well. Get them involved, but also to comprehend whatever's been communicated and make sure that you deliver the message where it's not hurtful to any of the parties involved. But easing pressure on the host parent, because I would imagine if I'm the parent that's hosting like 5 kids in my home and I've got to cook butter chicken for 5 children. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of pressure on the host parent to take care of the visiting child, take care of their needs, incorporate them into our family dynamic, that sort of thing. How can the host parent ease pressure, whether it's between both parties or how does it work? How can I ease the pressure of hosting someone else's child in my home?
So what I usually do with my situation is that I would obviously look at the older ones to kind of monitor, and I understand that at some point they're going to want to play because they're also children. But in terms of little things, and I think about times when we've gone to the swimming pool, putting the little children on the back and just swimming across up and down with them. But for me, one of the things that I'm very intentional about is putting together those additional safety issues. So if it means maybe getting some, trying to think of the word now in English, what's a whistle? Yes, getting little whistles for the younger children. Getting those floaters that you can have also for the younger children, and just being clear to say, if you're not comfortable and maybe I'm looking away because I'm making lunch or I'm doing something, feel free to blow this whistle, feel free to call the bigger brother or the bigger kids and just communicating to the bigger kids to say, hey, I may need your help. So as much as you may be playing, can you just keep an eye on these children? I will need to do a certain few things in terms of just organizing food, whatever needs to be organized, bright, salads, but have that communication between yourself and whoever's available. And if you get busy, don't be afraid to ask the next family. They may not necessarily have come to the park, the pool with you, but in that minute where you take your eyes away from the children, ask the next family, say, hey, can you help me out? I'm just running to do an errand. Can you just watch these kids, especially the little ones, and obviously the older ones as well, because they do get naughty. You want those monitoring situations put in place. And you know what? To be honest, we can't plan for everything, right? That's just the reality.
That's true. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you have to just be present. If it means for that day that you're out in the park with the children, maybe don't drink, maybe don't do any of those kind of activities that may take your attention away from the kids, then you might want to do that as well. But the reality is that we can never really over-prepare. We want our children to have some experiences, maybe even gain some problem-solving experiences as a result of that. But one thing I'd say is maybe also have the conversation before you go out with everyone sitting there and say, hey guys, so we're going to this, these are the expectations, these are the safety protocols. If you find yourself being uncomfortable, this is who you talk to if you want to go to the bathroom. You can get one of the older children to be the ones who are accompanying, and just give everyone like a responsibility and a know-how to say, how do we get around some of the situations that may come up.
Okay. This is really fascinating. Also, I can tell that you are pro sleepover. You're that parent that really just is a free spirit, and you want to raise children that are free to experience, but do so responsibly. When can I exercise my no as a parent? Whether I'm the host parent or whether I'm the parent on the other end. When is it time to say no sleepover? Because we get those situations that are not ideal.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I've had to have those situations when, let's say, for instance, I'm not necessarily comfortable with the family that my child is then going to. If I know that there's certain situations that are happening within the family's socioeconomic situations as well, where I feel, okay, that might expose my child to something I'm not necessarily ready for, I'm never afraid to put down my feet and say no.
Right.
But I'm always going to be honest with you that in those situations, I always bear in mind my children and their maturity. So I may expose them a little bit more because you see, when I always speak about the importance of exposing our children to a little bit of what happens in the world. And sometimes in our own little families, there's not a lot of exposure to the realities of what happens in the world. Our children are not learning resilience.
Right.
They're just not learning while they're in these little caves that we protect them overly in our estates, all of that. But once and we were having a conversation, a week or two ago, that a lot of the children are now going to university and experiencing being outside the structure of a family. And a lot of children are struggling with anxiety. They are scared out of their minds. They will struggle to sleep for a couple of days before they get used to this new cycle. So for me, just being open to some of these things is just an exposure to the reality of what's going to happen with the rest of their lives. They're not going to be under my roof forever. I don't want them to be. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, nobody does.
Yeah. But the reality is you want to have it in a guided way. So if I know my friend right now is going through a hard time and they're fighting with their husband and all of these kind of situations,
right.
I'm not necessarily going to put my child in that situation, right? And you can think of many different contexts that could be happening. And I always tell parents to trust your instinct, even though I'm cautious to say sometimes we're a little bit extra and paranoid. So as a parent, you need to really balance that out and figure out, just think about the bigger picture. How do you give your child an advantage in giving them as much experience as they can while they're still under your roof? The kind of experience that's going to be an advantage to them when they go out into the world. And I can tell you now, just being surrounded by you alone will not do that. Going out, experiencing other families, seeing some of the challenges that are happening in the world, having a conversation about that, an open policy conversation, will give them a different kind of edge.
Okay. Ayanda, thank you so much. I think, really, for any parent that's kind of been closed off to the idea, especially after seeing such devastating cases, you may want to exercise a no, even though you don't have to. So this was really enlightening in terms of, what is possible and why sleepovers can be an important part of socialization, I beg your pardon, for a growing child. But thank you once again. ayandatekyana.co.za should you wish to consult and perhaps get her expert services and consult with her on a one-on-one basis. Just visit the website and get all the information there. Thank you, Ayanda. Have a wonderful rest of the week.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 5 minutes to go till it's 2.
Across Africa, communities rise with the promise of clean water and clean sanitation. The African Union's 2026 theme calls us to action.
It's about mobilizing real commitments, securing climate-resilient water and sanitation projects, and ensuring that water becomes a driver of sustainable development and prosperity across the continent.
A landmark moment, not only for Africa, but for the global movement for access to safe water for all.
Assuring sustainable water availability for every home, every village, every nation. This is the Africa we want.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Madapiri pazoshitika. Madapiri pazoshitika.
Inogeka zingeni chihana lumbiritsidwa kukhala wachiwiri kwa mtsogoleri wa dziko la Malawi pa mwambo omwe unachitika ku nyumba ya chifumu ya Sanjika mu mzinda wa Blantyre. Ndiye pano tili ndi olemekezeka a chihana. Takulandirani olemekezeka pano pa wireless ya Channel Africa pa Chinyanja Service. Malawi ayembekezere zotani kuchokera kwa inu ngati wachiwiri winaso kwa president wa dzikolo?
Choyamba ngati vice president umagwira ntchito yopatsidwa ndi president imene yakuganizira. Ndiye malowozi athu atipatsa bwinobwino, koma ntchito yathu yayikulu ndi kuwathandiza president kuti masomphenya awo yakwanitsidwe. Mbali zambiri zoti zichitike, nkhani ya njala mdziko muno, boma la udakali chimanga ndi china chomwe chili mdziko muno kuti tithandize ana families are affected. Chachiwiri kunali ma fuel shortages amene akanaliponso apo ndi apo, tionetsetse kuti pumps athu asakhale dry.
Zochitika pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lolemba mpaka lachisanu ndi Madapiri.
The Upside. On the Upside, your voice matters.
What a special day it is for us as the Upside, because we are cruising with MSC. Over the next couple of days, we'll be cruising from Durban all the way to Mozambique on the Pomone Island. It's my first time on a cruise. I'm excited and I can't wait to take you with me so you can see all the amazing activities one can find on a cruise. Perhaps you are planning to cruise yourself. We're going to show you exactly what you can expect. So for the next couple of days, join us on the Upside on Channel Africa, the African perspective, as we cruise from Durban to Mozambique. Welcome to the Upside. When I tell you that it's one big party here, there's a kids area, there's, look at that, the pool area, kids are taken care of, adults are taken care of, there are restaurants for days, there are lounge areas for days. If you want to relax, you simply go to the spa. My goodness me, why haven't I cruised before? This is going to become a regular thing for me. Don't judge me.
All right, we're a minute away from 2 p.m. in Central African time. A pleasure to have you join us for the Upside. The Monday edition is currently underway. We're fast approaching the second hour, and we are going to, or Tebogo is actually going to be speaking to you about his cruise experience, and also in conversation looking at why timing matters when it comes to property sales and how waiting for the right moment can boost your financial yields, as it were. So that's a conversation coming up, and Tebogo will bring you that from the MSC cruise. It is 2 p.m. in Central African time. Let's take the news.
SABC News. The African perspective.
Looking at your top stories this hour, Uganda's opposition NUP party formally rejects the outcome of Uganda's January 15 election, and Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi calls for a snap general election. The latest news, greetings to our listeners. Uganda's opposition National Unity Platform has formally rejected the outcome of Uganda's January 15 general election, which declared incumbent President Yoweri Museveni the winner by a landslide. The party alleges that the polls were fundamentally flawed, citing what it describes as credible evidence of widespread irregularities that compromised the integrity of the democratic process. It says, according to reports from party observers, civil society partners, and independent monitors, the elections were characterized by voter intimidation, extensive ballot stuffing, discrepancies in vote tabulation, internet shutdown, a lack of transparency during counting, and arrests of key opposition figures, including the deputy president of the Western region. In response, the NUP chapter in South Africa is today holding a protest at the Ugandan embassy in Pretoria. Channel Africa spoke to a protester, Adam Ntsubuga.
Today, we choose to come here. We are going to send our petition to Ugandan embassy for our complaint or the things happening in Uganda. Things is not right. The election was not free and fair. The way they abducting our sons or our brothers and sisters, things is not right. So that's why today we are here, so that we can give our petition to Ugandan embassy to be trying to send a message to our ambassador that whatever is going on in Uganda is not right, it's not free and fair. The election was not good. It was many things which was not right to our brothers and sisters, abducting our brother, jailed our brother for no reason.
Libya's security authorities have freed more than 200 migrants from what they described as a secret prison in the town of Kufra in the southeast of the country after they were held captive in inhumane conditions. The security sources, speaking on condition of anonymity, said the security authorities had found an underground prison nearly 3 meters deep, which the sources said was run by a Libyan human trafficker. Some of the freed migrants were held captive up to 2 years in the underground cells. The oil-based Libyan economy draws for impoverished migrants seeking work, but security throughout the country is poor, leaving migrants vulnerable to abuses. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed sadness at the crash in Vanderbijl Park in the south of the Gauteng province, which has claimed the lives of 13 learners. The learners were being transported to school at the time of the tragedy. Ramaphosa, in a statement, says it is distressing that the incident has taken place at a time when the Human Rights Commission has published a report into scholar transport. Presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
On the learner transport tragedy, the President finds it particularly distressing that this incident has taken place on the day the South African Human Rights Commission has published a report on scholar transport in North West. The President's thoughts are with the families, teachers, classmates, and friends of the young victims.
The ad hoc committee investigating allegations of criminal infiltration, political interference and corruption within South Africa's criminal justice system has received an update on efforts to secure the appearance of Brown Mokgotsi. The committee is meeting virtually to discuss the expected appearance of witnesses, including the former IPID head Robert McBride and private investigator Paul O'Sullivan. Briefing MPs, the committee's evidence leader, Advocate Norman Arendse, outlined the challenges facing the inquiry, revealing that Mokgotsi has raised concern about his legal representation and personal security. Arendse says these issues have prompted them to agree to an initial virtual consultation while discussions continue around a possible in-person appearance before Parliament.
We have Brown Mokgotsi, who we have now scheduled to consult with on Wednesday after earlier also he raised issues both about not having legal representation and also some security concerns. So we have agreed to consult with him virtually on Wednesday, and he will discuss further his in-person attendance with Vonani, who will no doubt communicate with you, Honourable Chair, about an in-person appearance and to make sure that he's comfortable.
Lastly, Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has called a snap general election for February the 8th. Parliament will be dissolved this coming Friday, calling for an early vote will allow Takaichi to capitalize on her strong public support and push through her policies. The BBC's Jake K1.
A Japanese prime minister hasn't been this popular since Shinzo Abe in 2012. Japan's first female prime minister, Sanae Takaichi, came into office in October with a big promise of economic boom. And she says a big plan needs a big majority in the parliament. But her win is far from guaranteed. She is popular, but her party is not. She must also handle the cost of living crisis and the confrontation with Japan's number 2 trading partner, China.
Recapping on your top stories, Uganda's opposition National Unity Platform Party has formally rejected the outcome of the Uganda January 15 general election, which declared the incumbent President Yoweri Museveni the winner by a landslide. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Nsinsi.
SABC News. The African Perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628. Time to stay informed, inspired, and connected to the ideas driving Africa forward. The Upside on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
We're 7 minutes into 2 p.m. in Central African time. Thank you for staying with us. Exclusively so, we bring you the Upside, opening gateways into the African continent. And in this hour, Tebogo Lekhuleni will be talking all things property from the MSC cruise. He's going to be basically speaking with our guest, our regular guest, in fact, Given Mkabela, who's a financial advisor and property investment strategist and an author, looking at the timing of selling property, okay? Why timing matters in property sales and how waiting for the right moment can actually boost your final price. So we're going to look at the nitty-gritties of that. Tebogo Lekhuleni will be joining the show live from an MSC cruise. Stay with us.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Tumeona chapisho mapema hii leo ya kwamba Wizara ya Mambo ya Nje ya nchini Marekani imesema inapitia upya uhusiano wake na nchi ya Tanzania. Pengine taarifa hii imepokelewaje na wananchi wa Tanzania?
Cha kwanza tumeiona taarifa ambayo imetoka hii leo. Sisi kwetu taarifa hii haikutushangaza wala haikutushtua kwa sababu tulishaona taarifa kama hiyo imetoka kwenye ubalozi wa Marekani nchini Tanzania, ikiwa imetolewa na bwana Tom Pigot.
Umezungumza kwa kina kabisa. Haya ni malalamiko ambayo yamekuwa yakijitokeza mara kwa mara. Unadhani sasa wana hoja ya msingi?
Unauliza maswali mazuri sana na maswali ya tafakari. Maswali ambayo hayawezi kujibiwa kwa dakika moja au kwa siku moja. Ni maswali yanayohitaji utafiti, yanayohitaji kusoma.
Darubini ya Afrika kila Jumatatu hadi Ijumaa kuanzia saa 11 kamili hadi saa 12 kamili jioni majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
No interruptions, just the music you love on Channel Africa.
I can't scatter everything on the legit. I see courage, enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for. Hunger no they wire you. It be like country no they hammer you. Shake no they shake you. Shake it up for over. If you want know the coco, you go make you the loco. Plenty blessings, plenty they follow. Sure you think say I know no, no be today. I remember Sakpa used me they play. I've been this over, they hustle for the street. I can't scatter everything on the legit. I see courage, enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for. I've been this over, they hustle for the street. I can't scatter everything on the legit. I see courage, enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for. Allow me enjoy, 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 allow me. All your friends go gather you. Grace and blessings cover you. You see this life, make money, chop money, enjoy yourself. Problems no they finish. If you want know the coco, you go make you the loco. Plenty blessings, plenty they follow. Sure you think say I don't know, no be today. I remember Sakpa used me they play. I've been this over, they hustle for the street. I can't scatter everything on the legit. I see courage, enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for. I've been this over, they hustle for the street. I can't scatter everything on the legit. I see courage, enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for.
Moving to a world of African music. This is Channel Africa.
I feel no fit, give you the loving you want. I dey for streets, if man no get money now, and I know you need someone to cuddle lodo. We no go leave you come out. I cannot be that girl.
Ina, oh. Getting many things that they worry my inner way. I got to shit. Love forgive me, I'm a sinner, oh. As I hustle, make the goodie just to enter in the ball dance. We go Germany and Italo. Steady on the road, I think I go where they rap at it. Oh, the naka, you go there, okay. I know they have less, oh, Clara. I just want to. So I choice, I got to day meet the daily target. But if you go wait, I give you access.
To a big quality love, to get plenty money, child. Not just simple condition. A girl's got to hustle.
Oh. Getting many since they worry my inner way. I got to shit. Love forgive me, I'm a sinner. As I hustle, make the goodie just to enter in the abundance. Figure Germany and Italo. Steady on the road, and they can go where they rap by day. Oh, the naga, you go there, okay. I know they had less, so I just want to. So I feel love you, make your body cool, but for real, let's go. No one make you. I just want love you, make your body cool.
Oh, it's 16 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Beautiful double play coming through this afternoon. On the outside, we kicked you off with Rude Boy with Na Enjoyment, and the last song by Tiwa Savage, Jara, featuring Ira Star. My goodness! Oh, good to be live on air. I'm coming to you from an MSC cruise. I'm at the harbor in Durban. We are going to be making our way to Mozambique over the next couple of days, and we are taking you with us on the journey. Thank you so much, Upsider, for joining us on this magnificent MSC cruise. My name is Tebogo Lekhuleni, and standing by is the wonderful Mmatsheko Mosito, who will be crossing over to here and there just to keep her updated on what is happening at sea. But let's talk about important conversations, and that is about property. When is the right time to buy? Because homeowners looking to sell don't always have the luxury of waiting. But for those who do, timing can significantly influence the final price. Knowing when to enter the market, when to pause, and how to position a property can shape buyer interest and negotiation power. Buyers, too, can benefit from a well-timed approach, especially those with flexibility. With property markets moving in circles, influenced by seasons, economic conditions, and local demand, understanding when to act can give both buyers and sellers a meaningful edge. To help us unpack how timing really works in property decisions, we are joined on the line by Gavin Mkabela, financial advisor, property investment strategist, and author. Gavin, thank you so much for your time. How are you doing on this fine Monday?
I'm good, but as good as you, since you are on the MSC cruise. I wish I was there. But compliments of the New Year, so hope you're good, man.
Compliments of the new year to you too. You know what? Next time, Gavin, I'm taking you with me. Let's talk about timing in the property space. Does timing really matter, or is it one of those overrated statements that we throw around?
In a sense, it does. In a sense, it does. Like, I mean, if you look at now, we are actually in a buyer's market. So meaning that sellers are really under pressure, especially from a pricing perspective. So what is happening is that you now have, buyers that now have a lot of room to negotiate, which now makes it much difficult for the seller to get maybe the right price or even the price that they initially thought they would get. So that really makes it a bit of a challenge currently. And some obviously sellers, you'll find that they are so reluctant to lower their prices, which means that the property stays in the market for the longest of time. So yeah, it does matter in some point, but also it just depends on which side of the coin where you are in, basically.
And Kevin, I want us to touch on new buyers, youngsters getting into the market, buying their first property. And because you did say it's a buyer's market now, is it also ideal for them to enter the market? Because for a long time, we've seen that there are barriers to entry when it comes to young people and home ownership. But let's park it there. We're going to take a quick breather. It's 20 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time, and we'll get an answer from Gavin Mkabela, financial advisor, property investment strategist, and author, helping us understand the importance of timing in the property space. Don't go anywhere.
Let's just do it.
Your life just got easier. Get the Channel Africa app and take us wherever you go. Catch the latest news, enjoy your favorite shows, stream the music you love, and stay connected to the continent. All in one spot, right in your pocket. Simple, quick, and always with you. The Channel Africa app. Download it now on iOS and Android. We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are the upside.
Well, it's 20 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. We are still in conversation with Gavin Mkhabela, financial advisor, property investment strategist, and author, and just unpacking the importance of timing when it comes to property decisions. Gavin, are there specific seasons that typically favor sellers, and are there seasons that specifically favor buyers?
Yeah, so normally what you will see is that I think from a buying perspective, I normally say that the best time to buy was yesterday. So as long as you can afford to buy the property, I think most of the time the issue then just becomes on the negotiation aspect of things, how to scout for the property, because a lot of people, they don't have that knowledge. They don't know that I need to check what my market price is in a certain area. And then I can also check in terms of how long the property has been in the market. When I go and view, what are the things that I can check out and use that as a leverage when I now negotiate. So there are many things, I think, from a buyer side of it in terms of advantage that they can have. Whereas from the seller side is normally, obviously, typically we would say when the interest rates goes down, that's where you'll find a lot of movement in terms of people wanting to buy. But it's no longer the case, in that sense, because you'll find that the problem is that we are now have so many challenges that we're facing as the economy. And what now is happening is that with this huge knowledge that we now have in terms from an access point of view, now we have a lot of now buyers that know what to do. So it's not like before where we didn't know that we can check either, you can use Lightstone, you can use agents to do that. Now you can even use ChatGPT to then do a comparison. So all of those things then becomes very, 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 very difficult. But what I can say in terms from a seller perspective, we also need to be mindful as well in terms of the area. Remember, the area is very, very key. So, for example, if we talk about Cape Town, from an appreciation perspective, it's great. The demand keeps going higher and higher. But there are some areas that, are very flat in terms of the demand. And what else is happening is that you have sellers that overcapitalize their properties. So you have fixed it up. It's like a car. When you're now putting the sound and the rims and all those kind of things, and then of course, then you want to justify the selling price based on the things that you've done to the car or what you've done to the property, which then outsells you out of the market. So I come in as like, look, you have a solar system right now. We don't have issues with electricity. So for me, that makes no difference whether you put it there or not. And if now you're going to say, you spend 200K to do it, that's not my problem. I'm gonna buy what the market says it is. So those are some of the things that are very, very key for us to understand when we are now whether on the other side of the coin, being the buyer or the seller.
You mentioned that at this time of the year, it's a buyer's market at the moment. And I asked earlier if we are seeing more young people entering this property space, where previously they didn't have access to it. It seemed very difficult for a young person to buy property. Is that the case now still?
It still is, but I think the controversial aspect of it, we saw the data that actually says that more women are buying property than men, So I think maybe that's another discussion of why it happened. But I think it has become pretty much a bit difficult to enter the market. But I wouldn't say really, really difficult in that sense, because if you look at in terms of the salary scale, learnerships, people when they're starting jobs, it's not like before that, you'll find that maybe the salary bracket was very, very low in terms from an entry level point of view. But the issue now is that because looking at where you want to stay, the property prices has really, they're a bit steep. Even your typical township property these days, it's very difficult to find, let's say, maybe 500,000 property. So if now you want to go to 500,000, it means that you must go to an ITV kind of property, So I think it's now in terms of where you are buying. what the entry is in terms of getting into that space. But I think as well as we also see, and it's very visible that the job market is under pressure. There's a lot of retrenchments going on. I think I have met 5 people that has been retrenched just yesterday alone. So that in itself is becoming a big problem because again, when the companies are downsizing, they're shutting down, they also squeeze the salary aspect of things. So it's a matter of, look, we have to cut maybe salaries. If you want it, take it or leave it, basically. So those that kind of I think those kind of challenges that we are facing currently are making it difficult for people to really get into buying property for the first time.
Again, going back to our conversation, which is timing, are home owners getting it wrong? Buyers, sellers, what are the common mistakes that they are making in trying to get the right timing in buying or selling a property?
I think most of it, I would say that it's the desperation aspect of things is also a key element factor. I think people also leave, especially if I'm talking from a seller side, you leave it to the last minute. And I'm going to touch on just a little bit on the, distressed sellers, where you find that you are in trouble, you want to sell because maybe you've lost your job, you've been retrenched. So people wait until the last minute to then want to say, I want to sell. And by the time that you're desperate to do that, then you find that your municipal account is behind. The levy account is behind. So now what you're going to get versus what the market is willing to then give you at that particular time, you'll find that you're breaking even if you're lucky, even then making a loss. So those are the things that we need to be very careful about to say, look, where am I in terms of my finances at this moment? And am I still okay? And then, make sure that you keep up. If you see that you're already in trouble, please fix that. And then even maybe call people like us to then maybe do evaluation just to give you insights in terms of what the market is looking like in case you have a problem. And then, of course, from a buyer side, I would say that do a pre-approval as soon as possible so that you see exactly where you're standing. Because, opportunities come anytime. You might be talking to somebody at the lift, and then they might be like, look, I'm under pressure, I'm leaving, I'm going overseas, I'm selling my property. So if already you know where you stand from a pre-approval perspective, it's easier than to then fast forward that kind of process. But also when you're buying for the first time, understand if you're buying into a new development, at times there is no cost in terms of transfer cost, but if you're buying from me, there's transfer cost. So when you have a pre-approval, you can even know that you might get 100% plus the cost of the attorneys as well, which is very, very important.
Gavin, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to give us a quick elevator pitch of all that you do, because I mentioned earlier that you're a financial advisor, property investment strategist, and author. You are clearly the right guy that we need to get in touch with when it comes to getting into the right time to buy or sell. So if you don't mind just telling our lovely listeners what it is that you do.
So let me say, I run an agency. It's called Gapshaw International. So we're mixing property and financial planning together. So that is why I talk like this. So I talk from a financial planning point of view, and I also talk from a property investment point of view. So why is that very key? Because a lot of the times you have a financial planner and then you have a property strategist on the one side. So these people, at times, they don't talk to each other. So whereas we have everybody under one umbrella, so we can talk property, we can talk retirement annuity, we can talk your investments, everything else. It's one that we even have property coaches, we even have debt counselors in the room, we even have psychologists as well. So we are the right people to talk to if you want to anything around it. We can be able to assist.
I love it. And just a reminder again of the website where we can reach you.
They can go to www.gapshaw.co.za. So Gapshaw is GAVSURE.co.za. They can get us there. They can call us, send us a WhatsApp on 074 412 7614, 074 412 7614, or just catch us on our social media platforms. I'll say Gavin Kabela, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm always active on that, or just go at Google Devshaw International and you'll find us there as well.
That's how you know you've made it, when you can go Google me. Gavin, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. You are Googleable indeed. Gavin Kabela, financial advisor, property investment strategist and author, talking to us about timing and how important it is when it comes to buying or selling your property. It's 30 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Let's get the latest sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
It's a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Mosibu Dimakura with your latest sports news at the Sawa. So the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations player of the tournament, Sadio Mane, has explained the decision that led to him recalling the team and returning to the pitch just before extra time. Mane captained the Taranga Lions during the final against the host nation Morocco last night in the absence of the captain Kalidou Koulibaly. The situation got heated just before the half-time break when the Democratic Republic of Congo referee Jean-Jacques Ndala awarded a late penalty to the hosts following a VAR review. Now this led Senegal to walk off the pitch and then threaten not to return. Mane explains those moments.
Yeah, I know, football is always sometimes this kind of things, which is for me not the best things can happen in football, because football is something special and the world is watching, the world love football. I think football just a pleasure, so I think we just need to give especially a great image of football. Yeah, I think he will be crazy to not play this game, because the referee give penalty and go out of the game, and I think this is going to be the worst things especially in Africa football. For me, I rather lose than this kind of things happen to our football.
Now, Mane, the former Liverpool striker and now Al Nassr marksman, alongside Cristiano Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, finished the tournament with 2 goals as well as 3 assists. But it was also his leadership qualities that won him the admiration of the footballing community, earning him the Player of the Tournament award. This second AFCON title means a lot to the 33-year-old player.
I think I can't complain, honestly. I can't wish more than that. So honestly, I'm really happy. It was not easy, but we tried from the beginning till the end, and I think I would say we deserve to win.
Meanwhile, FIFA President Gianni Infantino condemned some Senegal players for what he calls the unacceptable scenes which overshadowed their victory in Sunday's Africa Cup of Nations final when they walked off the pitch in protest at a penalty awarded to Morocco. Now, African football's showpiece event was marred by most of the Senegalese players walking off the pitch. Then, when in deep into injury time of normal play, with the match all square at goalless, Morocco were awarded a spot kick following a VAR check for the challenge on Brahim Diaz. Now, Senegal's former Liverpool star Sadio Mane remained on the pitch as well as urged his teammates to come back onto the pitch for the penalty. They were already furious at having a goal disallowed at the other end for a soft-looking foul minutes just before the penalty was awarded. Meanwhile, trouble broke out as well in the stands as some Senegalese fans tried to enter the field of play and became involved in fighting with security personnel. The game was held up for almost 20 minutes before Diaz then took the penalty, and that wee kick was then saved by Senegalese goalkeeper Edward Mendy. Infantino, while congratulating Morocco on a fantastic tournament, both as runner-ups as well as the exceptional hosts, a boost ahead of them co-hosting the Men's 2030 World Cup, teams have to abide by the match officials' decisions. Infantino, who will now be hoping that there will be no such scenes at this year's FIFA World Cup finals that are co-hosted by the USA, Canada as well as Mexico, and said images such of those seen on Sunday sent a wrong message to supporters around the world. And finally, in tennis news, third seed Coco Gauff overcame some early serving wobbles to begin her Australian Open title bid with a straight sets victory earlier today. The 21-year-old eased past Russian-born Kamila Rakhimova of Uzbekistan 6-2 and 6-3 on a hot and a sunny Rod Laver Arena. This is what she had to say after that win.
Yeah, I thought I did well. I thought didn't rush the point. She plays really low, so just trying my best to get the ball up. And yeah, I think in the last game I had a couple forehands and I accelerated. And yeah, I mean, I think I would have rather held serve in that one game. But yeah, I think it's the beauty of being a good returner, that you're have a good high chance of breaking in almost every game.
Right, so that concludes your sports news this hour. As always, for any sports stories you'd like to share with us, do send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. I'm back with more sports news in the next hour. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mosibu Di Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
All right, it's 14:36. A quick catch up with Tebogo Lekhuleni at the business desk.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Mmatsheko. Good afternoon. Kenya has begun selling a 65% stake in its state oil pipeline firm as it looked to raise $825 million in East Africa's biggest ever initial public offering. The sale is part of a drive by President William Ruto's government to divest from state companies to raise funds for new infrastructure and sovereign wealth funds. It is also reducing its stake in telecoms operator Safaricom. The government priced the IPO in Kenya Pipeline Company at 9 shillings per share. The offer, this was showed in the documents. And the sale will run until the 19th of February and the shares will be listed for trading on the Nairobi Bourse on the 9th of March. The latest PNED job market trends show that there are high levels of competition and low barriers to entry for jobs that require lower levels of experience and education in South Africa. This is especially affecting certain roles in administration, manufacturing, logistics, sales and finance. However, demand for many specialist roles in engineering, finance and information technology appears set to continue to outstrip the talent pool for the time being. Mosito reports.
Despite the high unemployment rate, there are job opportunities in a few industries. The findings highlight strong and ongoing hiring activity across 12 key job sectors. The analysis shows fierce competition for jobs with low barriers to entry in terms of experience and qualifications.
The International Monetary Fund again edged its 2026 global growth forecast higher as businesses and economies adapt to U.S. tariffs that have eased in recent months and a continued AI investment boom that has fueled asset wealth and expectations of productivity gains. The IMF in its World Economic Outlook forecast global GDP growth at 3.3% in 2026, up 0.2 percentage points from its last estimate in October. The IMF says that's even with 3.3% growth in 2025, which will also beat the October estimate by 0.1 percentage point. The Global Crisis Lender forecasts 2027 growth at 3.2%, unchanged from the previous forecast. It has revised global growth rates higher since last July in response to trade deals that have reduced President Donald Trump's tariff raise that peaked in April 2025. Meanwhile, the IMF fund has also warned trade tensions and a reversal in the artificial intelligence boom are among the main risks to global economic growth. Its comments came in its latest World Economic Outlook, where it described the global economy as steady, with growth expected to remain resilient this year. The IMF's forecast was produced ahead of Donald Trump's threat at the weekend to impose tariffs on 8 European countries opposed to his proposed takeover of Greenland. The fund also says the independence of central banks is paramount for global economic stability and growth. Gold prices have risen more than 1% to above $4,670 an ounce, reaching a new record high. The surge came as investors flocked to safe haven assets following U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement of new tariffs on European countries. Over the weekend, Trump threatened to impose a 10% tariffs on nations opposing his plan to annex Greenland. Currency strategist at Treasury One, Andre Siller, says the threat of tariff weighs on global trade.
So he's changed the whole dynamic of how things operate throughout the world, and definitely moving far away from traditional diplomatic ways of doing things and more of I'll force you to do as I want you to do.
$1 in Nigeria is at 1,418 naira, Botswana 13.22. Kenya, the dollar is 128 shilling 43. Zambia 19 kwacha 89. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is at 5.37. Russia 78 rubles 56. India 90 rupee 25. China 71.97. South Africa 16 rand 42 cents. $1 is 74 pence to the British pound and 85 to the euro. Commodities, gold is at $4,665, platinum at $2,355 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil at $63.70 a barrel. That's all for now. For any stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
The whole population of Africa has been shocked to the depth of its soul.
For 60 years, Channel Africa has been the voice that connects the continent, telling our stories and sharing our vision with the world. This year, we mark 6 decades of broadcast excellence.
60 years of stories, sound, and connection.
6 years of African conversations that matter.
This is 60 years of broadcast excellence.
Rooted in Africa's heartbeat and looking boldly into the future. Join Channel Africa as we celebrate 60 years of broadcasting. Still strong, still vibrant, and still giving you the African perspective.
Channel Africa.
Madapiri pazoshitika. Madapiri pazoshitika.
Madotolo oposa 1,500 amene amagwira ntchito yaulere mu zipatala zaboma mu dziko la Zambia azanyanyala ntchito lachisanu sabata ya mawa, ndipo Daniel Shabanda kutambasula nkhani.
Madotolo oposa 1,500 amene amagwira ntchito mopanda malipiro apamwezi dziko la Zambia akuyembekezera kuyamba kunyanyala ntchito. Ichi ndi chifukwa chakuti boma lalephera kuwalemba ntchito monga mmene lidawalonjezera. Channel Africa News yalankhulana ndi mkulu wa bungwe la madotolo la Resident Doctors Association of Zambia, Dr. Paul Chiwe, akugomeza kuti madotolo ambiri amene akugwira ntchito mu zipatala zaboma akugwira ntchito yaulere, ndipo ali ndi chiyembekezo chakuti tsiku lina adzalembedwa ntchito ndi boma.
Zochitika pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lolemba mpaka lachisanu ndi Madapiri.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
day, yeah. Try what I do if you're not a fair. My mind they tell me to disappear, yeah. So come and help me, cause I don't pray, my man, I don't pray. Come on, man, I can't stay for one place, for God's sake, my day. Don't take my pharaoh from they are talking shit, what them no got me? Do you for what's me? I put on my eyes, that's short, my right, that's good. I cry, offshore, got my dreadlocks. Believe me, I don't pray, Mohammed, I don't pray. Come on, man, I can't stay for one place, for God's sake, my baby, come and ginger me, only you to feel my best. Give me vitamins, we're gonna take these pains away.
p.m. Central African Time. This is The Upside, your gateway to the good life on Channel Africa, The African Perspective, with me, Tebogo Lekhuleni, and Mmatsheko Mosito. Listen, I'm coming to you live, not from the Joburg studios in Auckland Park, but this time around, I am at the harbour in Durban. We're on an MSC cruise, MSC Opera. We're going to be cruising to Mozambique, Pomene Island, if I'm not mistaken, over the next couple of days, and we'll be taking you with us on this journey. So stay tuned to The Upside over the next couple of days. It's going to be quite the program. Mmatsheko is in studio. Mmatsheko, how are you doing? I haven't said hi to you. I feel so rude. How are you doing on this fine Monday?
I'm good. How are you doing? How's the cruise?
Listen, we haven't cruised yet. We are still, doing safety protocols and videos, making sure that everything is good to go. But we'll be sailing off in the next couple of hours, and obviously I'll let you in and tell you about that experience. But for now, we are still parked, taking it all in. This ship is massive. I'm still in awe at how massive this ship is. I mean, 2,500 people are going to be on board with us over the next couple of days, and that's going to be quite exciting. But I want us to touch on what caught your eye, Mmatsheko, because there are a few things that caught my eye that, Mmatsheko, it made me sad. I'm not going to lie. Here's what happened. You remember US streamer iShowSpeed? He's currently on an Africa tour, right? Showcasing the beauty of Africa, exploring the different cultures. And for a long period of time, we saw his streams were rather effortless, man. People were welcoming him. He was having a good time. Network connectivity was good. Ubuntu, man. And this was mostly in the southern parts of Africa. Over the past couple of days, he was in North Africa, and the experience was slightly different. A lot more restrictions on what he could and couldn't do, what he could film and what he couldn't film, to the point where he had to stop his stream. I think he stopped the Moroccan stream. He removed it online. He was in Algeria not so long ago. And I know I'm going to be controversial in saying this, but why does it seem that this Ubuntu is stopping there at Central Africa? And North Africa, it seems like they have a different code of being Africa. Is it just me? And again, I'm just an observer. I'm seeing a lot of Ubuntu from Southern Africa, Central Africa, all these places we went to. But North Africa, I'm not saying they're hostile, but it doesn't seem as welcoming as the other countries in Southern Africa. Is it just me, Mmatsheko, or have you also observed a similar responses or feedback from people who have gone to North Africa and said, listen, it's not as warm as some parts in Southern Africa?
I wonder. That's an interesting dynamic. Ubuntu, as I understand it, is very sort of practiced a lot in Southern African regions on the continent and in many places in East Africa. I want to say I'm not familiar with the practice of Ubuntu in North Africa because they aren't Bantu people. According to what history has taught me, we don't have Bantu people that live in North Africa. It's more very Arabic people and nomads from the Middle East, the Saudi Arabia, the people from Persian countries that speak Urdu, for example. So I don't know about the practice of Ubuntu in North Africa because we don't have Bantu languages in those parts of the continent. But it's an interesting dynamic, I guess, and I guess he will have something interesting to share about the dynamics of this very big continent of Africa. I mean, even America on its own has its own dynamics. It's very different in the United States of America as compared to how people in islands like Hawaii live, for example, in Southern America, where it's a little bit, more homely, more hospitable, more earthy, more welcoming, if you will, as compared to other parts of the northern part of America. So perhaps that's the thing. Africa is a really big place, and history has a story to tell about the different geographies and how we relate to one another.
Let us know on our social media platforms at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok about your experiences in North Africa. Perhaps I myself have been... We're getting a message, so I'm going to fade away for a second. Bye-bye.
Coca-Cola, oh yeah, sweet in my belly, oh, I'm again, oh, go give me jetty, oh, come bless you, baby, oh, I know go do you, Johnny, oh, baby, oh, now you, what they made me, they do, yeah, now you, what they made me, they do, now you, where I choose, you, they made me, they do, I dey do la mumu, yeah, mo bro. Girl, inna your love, where they ginger me, you dey give me the love and the energy. Only you where they hide me like Hennessy, baby, Girl, inna your love, where they ginger me, you dey give me the love and the energy. Only you where they giving me melody, I'm again at you, I go fight for. I'm again at you, say na you, I go die for. I don't get motor, but now you, I go ride for. When I dey sing, say na you, I dey sing for. Wine baby dance, make you move for the dance floor. I'm again, she know me, you dey fall for. Wine slow, boogie down low. Now the first time where I dey in love, oh. It be like drug where they make me slow. Anywhere you go, I go follow you go. Mogbe, oh. Monica, hey, Monica, Monica, hello, Monica, come my way, never let go. She say, oh, before like it,
Move into a world of African music. This is Channel Africa.
Story about this girl where I just meet. She looking fly, yeah, she looking at the boys looking like money right from my head down to my feet. She just smile at me, I don't really know what it means. Me, I'm in a bit of a limbo, but still I will make a move on this young lady. Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Me, I wanna call you up, see I want your number. Be like saying now you are go marry. See all my friends, them and my family, them love you. That I swear I'm a happy. I swear to God I'm feeling you badly. See what you want, what I do exactly. And you should know if you want, you can always lean on me. Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Me, I wanna call you up. See, I want your number. No concealing it. You young, you find so magnificent. Go on, girl, just keep killing it. Your body like orange and I am feeling it. The way I'm feeling, there's no concealing. That's why I'm revealing it. So, can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Me, I wanna call you up. See, I want your number, girl. Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number? Call 656 54 7853. Rings me, I'm already dialing. And I call you. Hello, 656 54 7853. Rings me, I'm already dialing. Hello, 656 54 7853.
A beautiful double play coming through on the upside this afternoon. We kicked you off with Ginger Me by Rema, and then this last song, Your Number by Ayo J. Oh, it's less than a minute to go before 3 p.m. Central African time. Before we get into the final hour of the upside this afternoon, I am coming to you from an MSC cruise in Durban. We'll be heading off to Pomene. Is it Pomene Beach? Pomene Island, somewhere in Mozambique over the next couple of days, and we'll be taking you with us. So stay tuned on our social media platforms so you can catch up with all the behind the scenes at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. But before we get into our final hour festivities, where I got an opportunity to chat with the cruise director, the man in charge of entertainment here on the cruise, let's get the latest news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Tebogo. Looking at your top stories, Nigerian airstrikes kill scores of militants in Borno State, and the U.S. President Donald Trump sends communication to Norwegian Prime Minister. The latest news, greetings to our listeners. Nigerian Air Force strikes have destroyed about 10 canoes and killed more than 40 militants preparing attacks in Borno State. The military made the report in the latest in a series of operations targeting groups around Lake Chad. Borno, where fighters from militant groups Boko Haram and ISWAP have recently intensified attacks on military convoys and civilians, remains the epicenter of the 17-year Islamist insurgency in the northeast of the country. Air Force spokesperson Emiham Ejodame, in a statement, said the airstrikes foiled the planned attack. Libya's security authorities have freed more than 200 migrants from what they described as a secret prison in the town of Kufra in the southeast of the country after they were held captive in inhumane conditions. The security sources, speaking on condition of anonymity, said the security authorities had found an underground prison nearly 3 meters deep, which the sources said was run by a Libyan human trafficker. Some of the freed migrants were held captive to up to 2 years in the underground cells. The oil-based Libyan economy draws from impoverished migrants seeking work, but security throughout the country is poor, leaving migrants vulnerable to abuses. The National Association of Schools governing bodies in South Africa has called on communities to respect the rules of the road. That's in order to avoid carnage on roads that leads to loss of young lives. The association was reacting to a crash in Van der Bijl Park involving a minibus taxi that was transporting learners and a truck that led to the death of 13 children, with 4 in a critical condition in hospital. Matakanyane is the General Secretary of the Association of School Governing Bodies.
We must not allow our children to get into a car that seems not to be roadworthy. And even the driver must know the characteristics of the driver. If the driver we don't know that driver, we don't know driver, we must not allow our children to get into that type of a transport. We mustn't allow that. Time is now. If we want to stop these things, time is now. Whilst they are enforcing that side, but the community must ensure that now we monitor, but the department also must stop giving tenders to people that they don't know for profit's sake. Please.
Flights in and out of Kruger Mpumalanga International Airport in Mbombela in South Africa have resumed following morning delays due to bad weather. Frustrated passengers were told that flights to and from the airport would take off later in the day. Heavy rains have ravaged the Mpumalanga province and Limpopo since last week. And lastly, U.S. President Donald Trump has written to the Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Castore, saying that he was not awarded the Nobel Peace Prize and he no longer feels obliged to think purely of peace. In his letter, Trump also said the world will not secure unless the U.S. has complete control of Greenland. At a news conference in London, the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he didn't believe the U.S. was likely to use military means to take it over.
I think that this can be resolved and should be resolved through calm discussion, but with the application of the principles and values that I've set out in terms of who decides the future of Greenland, and making clear that the use of tariffs in this way is completely wrong.
Recapping on your top stories, Nigerian Air Force's strikes have destroyed about 10 canoes and killed more than 40 militants who were preparing attacks in Borno State. The military made the reports in the latest in a series of operations targeting groups around Lake Chad. Now, for any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Tsinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628. Time to stay informed, inspired, and connected to the ideas driving Africa forward. The Upside on Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
This is us, 5 minutes into the final hour of The Upside on a Monday. Welcome to the show. A pleasure to have you join us. We are going to be crossing to the MSC cruise where Tebogo Lekhuleni is broadcasting from. And he is, or at least I think earlier, he was able to catch up with the cruise director. And we're gonna bring you that conversation live as it happens from MSC Cruise. Otherwise, a pleasure to have you join us. Anything you'd like to share with us? We are all over social media, okay, including YouTube and Facebook, where we are streaming audio visually live right now. Okay, you can catch the audio visual broadcast there. Otherwise, channelafrica.co.za to tune in on the World Wide Web. And you can also find us on the DSTV audio bouquet, channel 802.
Campaign Tropicana. Me, I don't I them take the marijuana. Joanna, Juba, Dibio Morgana. Onjo, Omlando, for me, Moyagbe, Los Goda. You and me, guy, even nigga think I give up for. Me, I done the streets since when them sing on Guazo. Apala, no be soca, see my team, them no be feeder. Premier League is not UEFA, small body, my engine bigger gun. When you show up, to power, Oja Desita, and no shade to Rella, Amigo Zilla, Maradona, Yolo Coachella, Emanuela,
Asake coming through with Johad. I mean, this playlist really, it just like every day is a weekend on the show, you know. Every day we have a good time and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. 19 days into the month of January 2026. Also the day post the new moon that occurred yesterday just before 10 p.m. in Johannesburg time, or in Central African time, if you will. So energetically, what does this mean? You know, the astrologers tell us that a new moon brings forth the energy of renewal, of planting seeds. Okay, so whatever you would like to see kind of grow in the next couple of months or next couple of years, this is probably the time to really take advantage of, you know, whatever ritual it is, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through writing things down, or whatever it is that you do when you plant seeds. This is the time to do it. Of course, this energy of the new moon will follow into a full moon that's coming through on the 2nd of February. Chinese cosmology also tells us that we are wrapping up the year of the wood snake. okay, which was a year about shedding all sorts of old things and really coming through with renewals for the year 2026. So according to Chinese cosmology, a new year begins on the 17th of February. So that is the Chinese New Year, and that's where the year of the fire horse comes through. Let me know if you're into these things. You know, I definitely am into these things. That's why I know so much about them. But if you're into astrology and alternative cosmologies, maybe you follow the Ethiopian calendar because they are going to be, I think this year will be the year 2017, if I'm not mistaken. 2016 or 2017 is what's going to be Nkutatash for the Ethiopians, for example. So all these esoteric alternative calendars outside the Gregorian calendar rhythm, I would love to hear what your thoughts are, and if you're looking forward to the year of the fire horse come February of 2026, let us know. Tebogo Lekhuleni will be coming through in a moment from the MSC cruise.
Ukatili wa kijinsia unaharibu maisha na kutenga jamii. Hutokea nyumbani, shuleni, kazini na mara nyingi kwa ukimya. Lakini hauwezi kuendelea. Ukiona, ongea. Ikiwa unaumia, funguka, kwa sababu kutofanya lolote sio chaguo. Sikiliza vituo vyote 19 vya redio kuanzia Jumatano ya tarehe 23 Julai kwenye mijadala, ushauri, tamthilia, maonyesho ya elimu na mahojiano na wataalamu, manusura, watunga sheria na nchi nzima iliyoathirika na ukatili wa kijinsia kwenye vituo vyako pendwa vya redio. Piga simu 0800 428 ili kuripoti unyanyasaji au kupata msaada. GBV ikomeshwe na wewe. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na shirika la SABC.
No interruptions, just the music you love on Channel Africa.
Greatness. Simbun with the melody. DJ Neptune.
Soundboy for the girl.
Hit me.
I see you smile and you light up my life. No we deny you're the light of my life. In all the stars it's already written. In all your eyes I see everything. No, give me deja vu. You name me once I go there times two. Shave fast you could say I do. Tell me the truth, yeah. See as you find, one of a kind. You to the shine, carry them more than me. The way you whine, put your behind. No other man, can love you more than me. Can't give me face, don't give me space. When you go there, go on my mother, me. Shorty now your mother go there bother me. All of me, baby I go call up. Jackie, my boy, she love because I go it. Oh baby, I go low. Go Jackie, my boy, she love because I go it. I've seen many bodies, pretty body, but nobody got the body like you do. Nobody fit to do me like you do. Fancy gone, classy gone. No contender, just see what. See me kayas when you go to buy me low. Your government, girl, I do your Babylon. See as you find, one of a kind. You to the shine, carry them more than me. The way you whine, put your behind. No other man, can love you more than me. Can't give me face, don't give me space. When you go there, go on my mother, me. Shorty now your mother go there bother me. All of me, baby I go call up. Jackie, my boy, she love because I go it. Oh baby I go call up. Go Jackie, my boy, she love because I go it. Baby, I go call up. Jackie, my boy, she love because I go it. Oh baby, I go call up. Go Jackie, my boy, she love because I go it.
Music by DJ Neptune featuring Sounds with Wait For You. Thank you for staying with us in this final hour of The Upside. MSC Cruises has officially opened sales for its 2026-2027 South African cruise season, featuring the arrival of MSC Harmonia to local waters for the very first time. The season set sail from the 27th of November 2026 with more than 30 departures from Durban to Cape Town, taking guests to some of the most loved destinations across the Indian Ocean and beyond, from the shores of the Portuguese islands and Pomine in Mozambique to scenic parts of Walvis Bay, Port Louis and other areas as well. So travelers can look forward to a mix of relaxation with space for 2,500 guests. MSC Harmonia offers everything from fine dining and family-friendly entertainment to wellness and world-class theatre. Guests can enjoy 4 restaurants, multiple bars, pools, a spa, even conference facilities for corporate groups. Earlier on Channel Africa, Tebogo Lekhuleni had a sit-down with Valerio Agnello, who is cruise director.
Thank you so much for your time. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. All fantastic. Welcome on board.
Thank you so much. Beautiful ship you have. I want to start by asking your journey on the water. Where did this begin for you?
Well, actually, I started in 2012. I started at the time was called Social Host, was the representative for the minorities languages on board. And it was a nice experience. So mostly was in Northern Europe. Then I got the chance after 6 months to become assistant cruise director. First time actually was in South Africa, 2012, with the Sinfonia. And then in 2018, I got the promotion to cruise director. And actually I'm here. Actually it was quite by chance that I came to South Africa because I was supposed to be with another season. But they called me last moment chance and really happy to be here.
Cruise directing. For a lot of people who haven't been on a cruise before, they wouldn't know what your job entails. So what does a cruise director do?
Well, actually, a cruise director is responsible for the entertainment on board. So mostly the shows in the night, the activities for the kids, daily and evening activities for the guests. Then we have the music all around, daily program. So mostly what is connected with the entertainment department.
I mean, it matches your energy.
Quite a lot, yes.
Yeah, because you're a very bubbly human being, and you're not an artist yourself. You're not a performer.
Well, actually, I used to sing, but I don't.
No, you can try one note so we can.
It's better now, believe me. It would become a nightmare.
Let's talk about the onboard entertainment, because I would imagine a big ship like this, 2,500 people, catering for different ages, different interests, must be quite a challenge. How do you then go about balancing?
Well, actually, the structure of the ship is helping a lot because, as you said, it's a big ship, so we can actually have different activities in the different areas. So at the same time, we can be, if the weather allows, to have activities at the pool, which are full of energy. And we can have inside some lounges with trivia and other activities. So for the guests who are, let's say, interested in different activities, they can choose. It's very important, the compass we have on board, which is the daily program, and the app. This one helps a lot in having an idea of the different activities we have on board. So the guests, normally they're invited in the night to take the time to read the app so that they can have a better idea of the best activities for the following day.
First-time cruisers, how do you manage their expectations? Because they're nervous, they don't know where to start. Activities galore. How do you direct them and as to how to navigate?
First of all, is the human touch. So understanding that for the people working on board, we are familiar with the ship structure. Sometimes we have to think about the person, as you said, being on board for the first time. So maybe addressing them, being understanding. Maybe we repeat 20 times the same concept, but for the person it's the first time. It's extremely important, the human touch. So explaining exactly where a place is, also because some names are a bit strange. Piazza di Spagna is in Italian, for the English speaking is Spanish Steps. Okay. So when you say Piazza di Spagna, somebody doesn't know. So explaining, giving information, the big lounge that you find, or maybe using the color of the lounge. This one helps a lot. But the human touch, the feeling with the person is extremely important.
I can imagine waking up in the morning. I've set up the plan for the day. I'm going to go watch a theater production and then I'm going to go dance on the rooftop. How do you then balance between live, high energy entertainment and then those who just want to relax? Do you ever have a challenge with that?
Well, that's once again the structure of the ship is helping a lot.
Okay.
Because you decide according to the trend of the guests we have on board. We see which are the highly requested activities. We notice that we have, as you said, many guests who want to have very active activities.
Yeah.
So that's why we have, for instance, the pool when the weather allows, or inside lounges. And then at the same time, we can have other lounges where we have, let's say, slower activities, or maybe somebody who want to simply sit down, maybe reading a book. We have the disco, which is very nice. Has a beautiful view over the sea. So let's say that we can find the best solution for everybody on board.
What's your favorite activity?
My favorite activity, well, of course, the shows. The shows in the night are amazing because normally between 30 and 40 minutes long. We have a high level and high quality of performance on board. We have guests, according to the length of the cruise. We may have external guests coming on board, so the program is very rich. Also, our parties are very nice. We have parties dedicated to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. We have tropical parties. Then it always depends on the kind of itinerary we have. This one we have normally in South Africa mini cruises, so 3-4 days. So the expectation of the guests is mostly to have something which is very full of energy. So that's what we provide. But at the same time, we have lounges inside where they can sit, enjoying the music. Every lounge has a different kind of music. So full of options for our guests to enjoy.
The gift that keeps on giving. I would imagine then feedback from the customers, from the people who come on board is very important for you.
It's extremely important to have the feedback because we need to know what is going well and we need to know where we need to improve. Always keeping in mind that we're on board a cruise ship. So sometimes people, they think it's an hotel. It's a floating hotel. So we need to consider different aspects. And very often, let's say we have situation, one which is quite fresh. Last night, on the way back to Durban, we had very bad weather conditions. So we were forced to cancel the show. We explained the guests, and guests were understanding. So I think, once again, being understanding with the guests, explaining things is the key word for this industry.
We've got 4 days on cruise. We're going to be here from Monday up until Friday. Paint a picture of what you mentioned quite a few things that we can expect, but paint a picture of where we can start as first timers. Today is Monday. Walk us through up until Friday what we can experience. I mean, obviously, I know that we're going to get full-on itinerary every single day, but you would be the best person to direct us for the week ahead.
Well, actually, we start today. Yes, welcome on board. We are going to have a presentation, especially for the ones who are on board for the first time. We strongly encourage them to attending this presentation because we provide them the information of the life on board. So something easy, again, for somebody who's already been on board, how to use the cruise card. How to read the daily program, how to, for example, the payment on board. Because for somebody who's on board for the first time, it's totally new. So we need to provide this information. Then we are going to have a fantastic sail away upon departure today. Of course, that is before the emergency demonstration because the safety is always the priority on board. And then we are going to go on. We have the announcement, for instance, are also very important, addressing the people and providing the information because somebody who's on board for the first time has no idea where is the front, where is the back. So we need also sometimes to explain this information and share because we're talking about the dinner. And we hope everybody want to enjoy the dinner in the night. Then we are going to start tonight a fantastic show. 2 shows per night. Tomorrow is the gala night, so amazing with the captain. The guests will have the chance to meet the captain in person.
Wow.
So a lot of activities to enjoy till the very last day, the day before the disembarkation. Normally we have a presentation about the disembarkation procedure so that everybody, let's say we don't want people to panic on the last day. So they arrive in the morning, they wake up, they can enjoy, they have a wonderful time on board, and also the disembarkation is going to be smooth.
Well, I'm excited.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. And I guess my parting shot to you would be, because you go to different countries, we're in South Africa, then you go to Mozambique, do you tailor the entertainment based on the area so that people can experience somewhat of the local cultures? Is that something that you are considering?
Well, it depends always on the itinerary. and it
Okay.
depends on the guests we have on board. Let's say that for the mini cruises we have a general guideline of the activities on board. Of course, we have a product which is the standard by MSC, so we follow the general rules by the company. Of course, there is always a continuous feedback. When you have longer cruises, for instance, very often we may have local groups coming on board. So they perform in shows, so also the local culture comes on board. But we're talking about long cruises, the so-called Grand Voyage. So the crossing from, for example, South Africa back to Europe or vice versa. These are the moments where we can have local groups coming on board.
Cruise Director Valerio, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And in the next 5 years, are we still going to see you on a ship, or are you planning other things?
No, I think I will continue. I had my experience on land. I had a break of 1 year. And it was exciting, but I realized that my life belonged to the sea. Very poetic to say, but yes.
Your life, your rhythm, your Africa. Channel Africa. Find it for free on Google Play and the Apple App Store. The Upside, live and real.
Power high moya, oh halalela. Ang tuma le fatsing lena, kamorero le sepeo kamo, am power twadi balerato, kimotlo kabona. Pamponsatsela, pantataisa, pangsupisa, monedeling ding, parehona, otlafisha, moyang ding, parna, lina. Salibella che ne che satsibi hormona che le baleng landua le solong fela che le ruma la moya ufumana poloso che hula dela la hailenswe lerin kinatsela lenete le bupelo mi fokolo nyaka umpamatla mohawa
The phenomenal Malay coming through with Kitlofihla, just such a beautiful prayer for the collective, especially at this time post the energy of the new moon. It is 3:30.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
And a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Musibu Di Makura with the latest sports news at the Sawa. So the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations player of the tournament, Sadio Mane, has explained the decision that led to him recalling the team and returning to the pitch just before extra time. Mane captained the Lions of Teranga during the final against the host side Morocco in the absence of the suspended captain Khalidou Koulibaly. The situation got heated just before half-time, rather not half-time, but extra time, when the Democratic Republic of Congo referee Jean-Jacques Ndala awarded a late penalty to the host side following a VAR review. This led Senegal to walk off the pitch and threaten not to return. Mane explains.
Yeah, I know, football is always sometimes this kind of things, which is for me not the best things can happen in football, because football is something special and the world is watching, the world love football. I think football just a pleasure, so I think we just need to give special a great image of football. Yeah, I think he will be crazy to not play this game, because the referee give penalty and go out of the game, and I think this is gonna be the worst things especially in Africa football. For me, this is cannot. I rather lose than this kind of things happen to our football.
Mane, a former Liverpool striker and now Al Nassr marksman alongside Cristiano Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, finished the tournament with 2 goals and 3 assists, but it was also his leadership qualities that won him the admiration of the footballing community, earning him the Player of the Tournament award. The second AFCON title means a lot to the 33-year-old player.
I think I can't complain, honestly. I can't, wish more than that. So honestly, I'm really happy. It was not easy, but we tried from the beginning to the end, and I think I would say we deserve to win.
Well, Confederation of African Football President Patrice Motsepe has denied that African football is remotely controlled by Europe or FIFA and the running of its affairs. Motsepe was responding to a question from a journalist who had insinuated that the decision to change the AFCON hosting cycle from 2 to 4 years was driven by Zurich towards Africa. Now, this decision has been widely rejected by some coaches at the 35th edition of the AFCON tournament in Morocco, but Motsepe defended it again yesterday. But it was the FIFA question that got him talking.
It's nonsense. They're insulting us. We run Africa for Africa. And our job is to listen to people like yourself and various others. And whether you're objective or not is irrelevant. But when you've got 54 nations in Africa saying that the African Nations League is world class, it doesn't matter how you look at African football, and we have to take decisions that, from a populist perspective, may be regarded as being unpopular.
On to cricket news now. Centuries from Jason Rollers as well as skipper Mohamed Boulabia propelled South Africa to a formidable 397 for 5 in their ICC Under-19 Cricket Match World Cup against Tanzania at the High Performance Oval in Windhoek in Namibia earlier today. It was the highest total scored by South Africa in any Under-19 international. Now, Rollers remained unbeaten with a superb 125 and 101 balls, including 10 fours and 5 sixes. Now, the left-hander picked length quickly and was particularly destructive through the leg side, although he was productive all round the wicket. And finally, in some tennis news, governing body Tennis Australia has defended the amount of prize money on offer at the Australian Open, as twice Grand Slam champion Coco Gauff warned that players would raise the pressure if their demands were not met. Now, the Australian Open hiked prize money to $74.56 million for the current tournament, bringing it ahead of last year's French Open that stood at $65.42 million as well as the Wimbledon $71.60 million, but short of the USA's open purse of $90 million. Now, the world's top players rode to the Grand Slams for significant improvements in prize money in April of last year, and a number had also expressed dissatisfaction with the situation at Melbourne Park in recent days. Tournament director Craig Tilley, however, said no players had approached him with any of the complaints about the Australian Open. Now, American world number 3 Coco Gauff told reporters on Monday that she had not heard any concrete plans for action over pay, but said players would also raise the pressure if their demands went unmet. It is 15:35 p.m. Central African Time, and that's a wrap of your sports news this afternoon on The Upside. I do return in the next hour for a final sports update for the day on Africa in Business. As always, for any sports stories you'd like to share with us, do send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mosibu Di Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Let's check in with the latest in business news. Tebogo Lekhuleni is standing by.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Mmatsheko. Good afternoon. Managing Director of Reputation First, Tebogo Lekhuleni, says the removal of South Africa from the Financial Action Task Force, the FATF, sends a strong message to the world that the country is improving systems to fight financial crime. This as the country has sent a delegation to the World Economic Forum in the Swiss capital of Davos, led by Finance Minister Ino Godongwana. Lekhuleni adds that the removal of South Africa from the European Union lists of high-risk third country jurisdictions also makes the country attractive for investment. Lekhuleni also listed issues of concern investors are likely to engage on with the South African delegation.
Their biggest concerns will center around policy certainty and political stability, whether government can actually sustain a credible reform agenda, and whether the country can consistently deliver reliable electricity and efficient logistics through the ports and rail. So investors will also weigh in on governance and institutional capability, particularly around corruption and procurement capability and credibility, and the state's ability to implement decisions.
Kenya has begun selling a 65% stake in its state oil pipeline firm as it looks to raise $825 million in East Africa's biggest ever initial public offering. The sale is part of a drive by President William Ruto's government to divest from the state companies to raise funds for new infrastructure and sovereign wealth funds. It is also reducing its stake in telecoms operator Safaricom. The government priced the IPO in Kenya Pipeline Company at 9 shillings per share, and this is shown in the documents. The sale will run until the 19th of February, and the shares will be listed for trading on the Nairobi Bourse on the 9th of March. The latest peanut job market trends show that there are high levels of competition and low barriers to entry for jobs that require lower levels of experience and education in South Africa. This is especially affecting certain roles in administration, manufacturing, logistics, sales and finance. However, demand for many specialist roles in engineering, finance and information technology appears set to continue to outstrip the talent talent pool for the time being. Diabo Sieto reports.
Despite the high unemployment rate, there are job opportunities in a few industries. The findings highlight strong and ongoing hiring activity across 12 key job sectors. The analysis shows fierce competition for jobs with low barriers to entry in terms of experience and qualifications.
The International Monetary Fund again edged its 2026 global growth forecast higher as businesses and economies adapt to U.S. tariffs that have eased in recent months and a continued AI investment boom that has fueled asset wealth and expectations of productivity gains. The IMF, in its World Economic Outlook, forecasts global GDP growth at 3.3% in 2026, up 0.2 percentage point from its last estimate in October. The IMF says that's even with a 3.3% growth in 2025, which will also beat the October estimate by 0.1 percentage point. In other news, gold prices have risen more than 1% to about $4,670 an ounce, reaching a new record high. The surge came as investors flocked to safe haven assets following U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement of new tariffs on European countries. Over the weekend, Trump threatened to impose a 10% tariff on nations opposing his plan to annex Greenland. Currency strategist at Treasury One, Andre Silas, says the threat of tariffs weighs on global trade.
So he's changed the whole dynamic of how things operate throughout the world, and definitely moving far away from traditional diplomatic ways of doing things and more of I'll force you to do as I want you to do.
$1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,418 naira, Botswana 13 pula 22, Kenya the dollar is 128 shilling 43, Zambia 19 kwacha 89. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is at 5 real 37, Russia 78 rubles 56, India 90 rupee 25, China 71.97, South Africa 16 rand 42 cents. $1 is 74 pence to the British pound and 85 to the euro. Commodities, gold is at $4,671, platinum at $2,360 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil $63.67 a barrel. That is all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chandruko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter? Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard? Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126, and we will call you back so you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So that's who I am,
It's not just talk. It's your chance to air your views. Share your opinion. Engage with a community that values your perspective. Follow us on our social media. Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za and get ready to share your views on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi has now accused Rwanda of violating the peace deal. Are you surprised at this latest accusation? This is literally days after a signing, a ceremony, so to speak.
This is not surprising. I mean, if you ask Paul Kagame, he would also say almost the same thing. One should ask a question. The broker of the peace deal, President Trump, what is it that he wants? Why now? And why is this peace deal being signed in the Americas and not in the Great Lakes? Paul Kagame has never respected Tshisekedi, as often say. Tshisekedi must deal with the problems in his country country. He has nothing to do with it. So this peace deal, obviously, when it was signed, one just looked at it and said, this will not last.
Kenny Matiba, former journalist.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. Midday vibes, great programming, and good company. This is Channel Africa.
It's Chris with the drama boy.
Kutoka Manzabe, picha twazi twanga kisera, posti insta wanga kwa kera, baada ya chali kimoko. Cause I just wanna let them know I'm African beauty. African beauty. You're my African beauty. You're my African beauty. Kutoka Manzabe, picha twazi twanga kisera, posti insta wanga kwa kera, baada ya chali kimoko. Cause I just wanna let them know I'm African beauty. Oh, you're mine, yes you're mine, African beauty.
All right, it's gone 48 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. African Beauty, Diamond, Platinums. Listen, we are still parked by the harbour in Durban on the MSC Opera Cruise. And tomorrow, during the broadcast, I'll be sharing my trip as we, the Upside, are going to be at sea, making our way to Pomone Island in Mozambique over the next couple of days. Stay tuned, stay locked in on our social media platforms so you can see all the behind the scenes at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. talk. I tell you what, so much to do on the cruise. We haven't even left yet. We were just going through safety drills, checking out our units. It's not units, apparently. It's cabins. You don't say it's a, yeah. It's a cabin. Our cabins are magnificent, balcony with views for days, and then you have all the entertainment areas. There's one club after the other, it's one restaurant after the other, there's play areas for the kids, there's a theater. Hey, we're going to have a good time. So tomorrow, The Upside will be broadcasting live at sea on our way to Pomone Island. But for me today, thank you so much for hanging out with me at the MSC Opera Cruise at the harbour in Durban, rather. It's been a fun one. It's my first time. I'm overwhelmed. You can hear in my voice. I'm excited, but I'm overwhelmed because it's my first time experiencing this, and I can't wait to share it with you all and Mmatsheko Mosito. But from us at the MSC Cruise, we'll check you out tomorrow.
Across Africa, communities rise with the promise of clean water and clean sanitation. The African Union's 2026 theme calls us to action.
It's about mobilizing real commitments, securing climate-resilient water and sanitation projects, and ensuring that water becomes a driver of sustainable development and prosperity across the continent.
A landmark moment, not only for Africa, but for the global movement for access to safe water for all.
Assuring sustainable water availability for every home, every village, every nation. This is the Africa we want.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Madapiri pazoshitika. Madapiri pazoshitika.
Madotolo oposa 1,500 amene amagwira ntchito yaulere mu zipatala zaboma mdziko la Zambia azanyanyala ntchito lachisanu sabata ya mawa, ndipo Daniel Shabanda kutambasula nkhani.
Madotolo oposa 1,500 amene amagwira ntchito mopanda malipiro apamwezi dziko la Zambia akuyembekezera kuyamba kunyanyala ntchito. Ichi ndi chifukwa chakuti boma lalephera walemba ntchito monga mmene lidawalonjezera. Channel Africa News yalankhulana ndi mkulu wa bungwe la madotolo la Resident Doctors Association of Zambia, Dr. Pochiwe, akugomeza kuti madotolo ambiri amene akugwira ntchito mu zipatala zaboma akugwira ntchito yaulere, ndipo ali ndi chiyembekezo chakuti tsiku lina adzalembedwa ntchito ndi boma.
Zochitika pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lolemba mpaka lachisanu ndi Madapiri.
Moving to a world of African music. This is Channel Africa.
Mais moi dans la frayeur qu'il aime on commence causer ou pas parler pour écouter. Ou dit qui ou en bas pression et où l'esprit il bouleversé. Quelquefois on fatigué et comment mais l'amour pour ou moi dans une quantité. So dit qui l'amour souvent fois il danserait. Mais mon pas d'écouter. Il a quelque chose pas balancé. Sans même ou à qui aime, tu désobéis, bon Dieu. À cause quand même on sait mon mieux pas bon, sans même ou satisfait.
Des relations y'en a des pas expectées pour pas faire. Mais si nous tous les deux nous sommes côté, bien si nous l'avons identifié. Il y en a quelque chose avec moi qui ou pas pour capable senser. Bien si mon bonne vilain mon ça oui moi c'est mon vie. Parfois où les Haïti, à cause d'un tout si bien. L'homme même les ou doute mon l'amour chose pas balancer. Sans même moi qui aime, tu désobéis, bonté. Quand même on sait mon mieux pas bon, sans même on satisfait.
Mon connaît qui m'ont pas déserve, qui m'en y a, qui m'ont pécan traité, non, non. Mais mon paraît pour mon rôle des solutions. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Livré qui auparavant mon bon quelque chose à la lisière. Mais l'amour essayé, chérie c'est corporé.
Zoti qui l'amour, souvent failli dans ses rêves. Mais mon pas n'écouter, et là quelque chose pas balancer. Sans même moi qui est, tu désobéis, bon Dieu. À cause quand même on sait mon mieux pas bon, sans même ou satisfait.
Zoti qui l'amour, souvent failli danser. Mais mon pas n'écouter, mais là quelque chose va balancer. Sans même moi qui aime, tu désobéis, bonté. Quand même on sait mon mieux pas bon, sans même satisfait.
Well, this is us 4 minutes to go till it is 4 p.m. in Central African time. A pleasure to have had you be on the show. We're back again for the Tuesday edition of The Upside. That is between 1 and 4 p.m. in Central African time. And of course, we make way for, I almost said the African update. No, Africa in Business is going to be coming through with Tami Ngubeni after the 4 p.m. news bulletin. Have a glorious rest of the afternoon. Cheers.
I swear you